the I Love Gay Palm Springs podcast with John Taylor and Shann Carr.
This is the I Love Gay Palm Springs podcast, setting sail for another uncharted journey across all of Gay Palm Springs and the Coachella Valley.
Well, I like that intro.
Me too. That's a good
morning,
start.
John Taylor.
Good morning and afternoon and evening to you, Brad Fuhr. It's Shann Carr with us here at the round table, and we are heading off onto another journey in your ears.
This is the week of the, what is this, 11/11 today?
11/11.
It is.
And it is Veterans Day on the day we are recording this. You might be listening anytime, including, it could be in the future.
Right?
This is like somebody back to the future could be listening to this 3 years from now.
They absolutely can. Or maybe somebody back to the future could be listening to this 3 years ago.
Wow.
See?
Marty, watch out for the Libyans.
Exactly.
We got a Lebanese here. Watch
Yes,
out for
you
her.
do.
That's lesbian.
Oh,
It's all the same. I'm both.
yeah, that's true.
I know.
A Lebanese lesbian is
A
at the table.
Lebanese.
Wow.
All right, so what's going on in hashtag I Love Gay Palm Springs this week? Brad, get us going.
Well, you know, it was, can I just gush a little bit about the Palm Springs Choreography Festival over the weekend?
Go and gush.
Was it amazing?
They had 11 different performances from around the country, all on the stage at the McCallum with like one song or one performance per artist. If you have a chance to see choreography, there's going to be a couple of choreography festivals here now. I know Darcy's got one coming up in the next month or so. Expand your horizons. That's all I can say.
I'm actually jealous of some of what you went to this weekend. Not only that, but you also went to see Hand of God, right?
I did.
Can you tell us?
Michael Shaw really took a chance on this one. It has puppet on puppet sex.
I love that.
It has, man on woman stuff going on. It has vulgarity. It's blasphemous. And just a really great show.
Okay.
This was on Broadway, and it has been brought to Palm Springs as Hand to God. So
Tell me again the venue. Where was it?
that's at the Women's Club, which is
okay, that
downtown,
makes
a
sense
little
there.
tiny venue.
Yeah.
So seats are a little tough to get, but there are tickets still available, and that show runs through this coming weekend.
Well, you had me at puppet on puppet sex.
I know, me too. All right, back to your
It's
future.
really fun. The things we get to see in this town, it's pretty amazing. Murder on the Orient Express Desert Theater Works is going on now through the 24th of November.
Ooh, I love that.
Leslie Jordan's back. He's doing his Overexposed show this weekend at Outlandish. Priscilla, Queen of the Desert happening. This week, we have Melissa Etheridge, Thursday night.
The lesbians will be
McCallum.
out in force.
Yeah. And then this weekend, Mandy Patinkin.
The gay guys will be out in
I was
force.
gonna say who
It's a
is out
balancing
in
act,
force
isn't it?
exactly?
It is definitely a balancing
really?
act.
The water shining on his skin, the sunlight in his hair. When he walked out of that stream in Yentl, yikes.
Oh my gosh,
I
really?
don't remember.
Well, now that you say it, I do. But the fact that it aroused anyone's loins didn't even occur to me when watching it.
It aroused Yentl's loins.
Well, all right. She had a pretty low bar, though.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Barbara. And this Sunday, the Coachella Valley Symphony. GayDesertGuide.com, my website, is where you find all of this. Conveniently located on the homepage. It's the Gay Desert Guide week of November 11th, 2019.
All right.
You can catch this podcast there too. There's a little link to catch it if you want it someday and you don't know where to find it.
Yep, and we do encourage you to subscribe to the I Love Gay Palm Springs podcast, wherever podcasts are sold.
I love how you guys are just taking the ball and carrying it down the field because my allergies are just killing me.
I know.
The hills are alive with the sound of mucus. We have a lot of people with allergies. It's a thing on Facebook.
It is.
And so thank you guys for this informative journey across the valley.
Well, we really try.
You do.
And, the other thing we haven't talked about since episode number 1,
Okay, and this is for?
this is for the press is hounding us.
Oh,
I know.
Paparazzi
but
everywhere
in a
we
good
look.
way. Jimmy Bogle, who's the publisher of the Coachella Valley Independent,
Yes.
he had a bunch of his independent news hounds in the city this weekend for a little conference, and he has talked to me on the record and off the record about what happened with K-Gay and all the trials and tribulations that we went through over the 9 months that we were.
And more
we
than
were
that,
doing it.
We were actually working behind the scenes before that.
For months before
A year
that.
ago, we were working on it.
It was almost a year worth of blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
And so there will be a story coming out in the Coachella Valley Independent, probably in the next week or so, that gives a little better indication and kind of explains everything. And he's talking to both sides. So
Good.
And as well he should as a journalist.
Right, yeah.
And so I just want our listeners to know that, there is a story there, and it's not juicy or gossipy. It's just some business facts and just some things that didn't work out. I know you said it best.
It just didn't click. It didn't stick. It didn't whatever.
It didn't work.
Yeah, I have my little fortune cookie versions of it. I just say stuff like, well, what happened to KK? I'm like, well, we had creative differences. We were creative. They were different, or...
I just go, guys and their drama. That's all I say.
Thank
I say
you.
that every time.
Guys and their drama.
Man-on-man drama. Come on, I can't explain it.
Drama.
And you know what? No one's ever gone, what do you mean? They've gone, oh, yeah, girl, I know.
We did some incredible things together.
We did.
And the not-for-profit part, the number of people that made donations through the events that we did. So, all of that was a grand experiment.
Every little thing is. We're creators.
Yeah.
There are a lot of our things that don't go all the way to the end.
Yeah.
Who knows where this is going to lead us is what I keep thinking.
Yeah.
Right?
And, I look at Shann, you and I have been talking for years about a project that you've been trying to get off the ground.
Yes.
Moxie.
My fantasy of a resort entertainment complex, almost a gay convention center with a live television production facility. All kinds of media and tourism combined. Yeah. And the fact that it's been probably 10 years I've been touting around, I want this, $100 million idea that never existed in the world. That's what dreamers do. That's how creators make their way down a path. And I swear, if I die, before I get it done, I will pass that baton to some twink and guilt him into carrying it the next path. But you got that baton. You got that flaming baton. And I think we're all proud of what we did at KGay.
I think we are. Yeah.
And the thing is, none of us moved here for radio.
Right.
Brad and I had careers in the business for many, many years, but we moved here because we love Gay Palm Springs.
And getting behind that name was easy. I love Gay Palm Springs.
Totally easy.
Right?
Yeah.
I always feel like an ambassador whenever I go. A lot of people here say they lived here because I never shut up about it. Mm-hmm. On 79 cruises, Palm Springs this, Palm Springs that.
Yeah.
And we're that way with visitors. When we run into people from other places, their first time here, we give them, what to do, where to go, and now we do it in a podcast.
Every one of our houses is sort of a hospitality suite. At my front door, there is a little drink station and stuff when you walk in. People walk straight to my fridge and grab a glass and make a cocktail without saying anything to me.
I have the bar out in the living room.
Yeah, there's
glitter all over my floors from the drag queens that needed to use a bathroom that wasn't made of plastic over the Pride celebration. So that's what we do.
So what's next?
I really think that there are some good things ahead for us. I don't know what's ahead.
We're
certainly having
fun with a podcast.
We are loving the podcast. I can see us continuing to do this. We're having fun twice a week putting this together and letting people know all the great attributes and all the great things happening.
And we're just getting started with season as we go through the end of the decade.
50 days left, right?
Is that what it is?
To the end of the decade.
Yeah.
I will use a Shann phrase. Tick-tock.
Remember 20 years ago when we were getting ready for Y2K?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Wow.
I was in grade school.
Oh, yeah.
Because he flunked his senior year 18 times.
All right, busted.
We hope you're liking our podcast as well. And, be sure and give us a thumbs up and rate us and share it with your friends and let people know that you're listening to I Love Gay Palm Springs.
And stop on by. The bar's open.
The I Love Gay Palm Springs podcast.
Next up on the I Love Gay Palm Springs podcast, we welcome to our flaming microphones the lovely, the talented, the vivacious, the bubbly, the multifaceted community activist and community outreach and liaison for diversity, DHS, the Pride Festival. It's Margaret Webb.
Hey.
How are you, Margaret?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
You are.
Yes.
So we met a few months ago for the first time, and
Well, we knew each other on Facebook, and I'm getting to know, and I tell everybody on Facebook, if you make friends with me, be prepared for me to bombard wherever you going.
That's right. And every time I turn around, she's there.
Yep, in your face.
All right, Margaret, tell us about Diversity DHS, the organization, and then we're going to get into what's going on in the lineup for the Pride Festival this year.
Well, Diversity DHS, the organization, was brought into existence, I want to say, about 4.5 years ago. We weren't a 501c3, but we were coming together as a diverse community. And what I mean by diverse, people from different background cultures, people with darker color tans, because I don't look at color. And that's what diversity is supposed to be about. Not looking about color. It's supposed to be not looking at where a person's pocketbook is or where they are as far as success in their life, whether they're a business owner or not, because we have a conglomerate of people on our board. We have Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. We have a gentleman that's in an all-men's gay club where they don't even have women at their functions, but are actually willing to invite somebody like me. And we have veterans, we have the Latino community, we have straight, bi, gay men, lesbians, trans. We have everything on our board. When I go out, a lot of times I just put my badge on just to let people know that we actually have an organization that's LGBT in Desert Hot Springs. And by me having that badge on and representing our organization on top of doing what I do in the community for our homeless babies, it lets people know that they can actually open up. Somebody actually opened up to me on the street and they said, you know, I didn't think we had anything like this here, and I didn't know anything about the festival. I said, yes, baby, we do have a LGBT community here, and we are growing. People are starting to pour in and buying houses in Desert Hot Springs. So that's what diversity is as an organization. Now, what the organization means to me is, when I came here, I didn't know anyone. And I met Floyd and Kent by our mayor selling the UPS store to Floyd and Kent.
In Desert Hot Springs.
In Desert Hot Springs. And Floyd is our vice president. And when I first went into the UPS store, I went in and that's how I met my mayor when I first moved here. And I was already helping. When I got here, I just took off and started helping the community. And so I asked him, I said, well, do you think you could donate a gift card for a family that's in need of some food, sir? I didn't know who he was. He wasn't the mayor at that time. He's our mayor now, Scott Mattis. And he told me, sure. And he said, well, can I just give you some money? I said, well, so you can have the receipt. Would you like to go purchase it on your card? He says, no. He says, I'll tell you what, why don't I give you the money and you go down to Vaughn's or wherever you want to take them to and bring me the receipt back. And I said, I could do that. So he let me know right then that he trusted me. And that right there almost made me feel like I was back home in Louisiana. So when he sold the store to Ken and Floyd, I walked in and all of a sudden it was different owners.
Right.
And I didn't even realize that he had sold it to LGBT. And so when I walked up to the counter, I said, so where's Scott at? Oh, we're the new owners. And we met each other and I was like, oh, I said, well, how you doing? I'm Team Mom. And from then on, it was like they was my instant family. You don't understand the stuff that me and Floyd and Ken have. They treat me like a sister-in-law stepchild.
Okay. Well, you know, that's one of the things about having community, especially a lot of people come from different places, and a lot of people that grow up LGBTQ plus. It's you have to kind of find your family.
You do.
And you are one of those people that by the time you finish the first conversation, there's a hug somewhere.
A hug, a kiss. And then when you finish hanging out with me, you're going to realize just how much I mean.
I know. The ribs are actually healing from that first hug.
Are they?
Diversity DHS, the Pride Festival, is coming up this Saturday, November 16th. It is going on from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's at the Cabot's Pueblo Museum, and that is at 616 Desert View Avenue in DHS. Now, we not only have Margaret here from Diversity DHS.
Can I interrupt?
Yes.
Just one. Okay. Last year, I promoted the Desert Hot Springs Festival, but when I met Keisha D, Gemini, and I had David Miller
Yeah.
and Jeffrey. They all came and together and said they wanted to be a part of the festival.
Now, we've got one of the entertainers who is in the room with the
Yes.
flaming microphones. It's a
Yes.
recording artist named Gemini. Hi.
Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing? I hope fabulous.
Oh, yes, absolutely
Absolutely.
fabulous here. Now, you're what genre of music do you sing and
I am
play?
an R&B soul singer.
All right. So who is your biggest influence for you? That's a tough one, I know.
Ooh, I typically go back to the Motown era, where, you got Smokey Robinson, Stevie Wonder, Gladys Knight.
I could be a Pip.
Yeah.
I can be
Be a pipette.
I can be Bubba.
You guys can easily be in my background.
Okay, and I know all the words and all the moves too. I just need one of those orange suits.
Teach me.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're going to be performing
am.
on the main stage. Do you have an idea of what time you're going to be performing?
I am
Gemini?
going to be performing at 11:30 a.m.
So the entertainment is going to be starting at 10:30 with the Modern Men.
Modern Men, yes, they've been to each and every one of our festivals.
All right, we got Modern Men at 10:30. Divas on the dance floor, of course. We
we got to have our divas.
We love Anita Treadmill.
Oh, we got to have.
And we've got Gemini, who's going to be performing at 11:30 a.m. Sego Inquez is going to be, I would assume, playing some Latin music.
Yeah.
Alex Avery is at 12:30. Keisha D at 1. Dawn Wells is going to be there. Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island. She's going to be doing a Q&A
Yes.
on the stage, and that's going to be happening at about 1:15.
I grew up watching Gilligan's
Oh,
Island.
me too. Jeffrey Mark is going to be performing at 1:45. Larry Atello, who I love.
Yes, yes.
And he sings Bon Jovi
Yes.
and 80s.
Yes,
and
yes.
he really knocked it out of the park during Pride on
he
the
did.
arena stage.
Yes,
and he is a recent transplant to the Valley. And
Yes,
he is one of those people that he came from Vegas a couple of years ago.
He's been a good fit for our community.
Yeah, absolutely.
He has.
Great performer. Tori Mercer is going to be performing at 2:45
Yep.
and Eve Holmes at 3:15. So it's a full
It's a full plate.
of entertainment.
And thanks to Jeffrey, who
Yes.
put all this together.
Jeffrey Mark, wonderful work. Brian Gallo, the weatherman from NBC Palm Springs.
NBC Palm Springs.
And
There
of
it is.
course, he's the host of Desert Living on
Yes.
NBC Palm
Yes.
Springs. Great guy.
And Jeffrey Marks was just on that television show having an interview with him about Pride.
All right, so we have some of the best people in the community. We're going to be there with the Gay
Ooh, we
Desert
are gonna be
Guide.
there. Ooh.
We're going to be there in the booth,
Yes,
and we're going to be meeting people at the Gay Desert Guide booth this Saturday for Diversity DHS.
We can't forget about the DHS high school teenagers. They come and volunteer their time every year to help us set up and help us clean up. And they start at 6 a.m. and they don't leave until after 6. Diversity also gives funds to struggling youth organizations, whether they're high school or the Scouts or just an organization that we see struggling that may need help. The only way you can work as a community is to really act like a family. And that's what when I came into diversity, that's what I came into. I came into act like I'm your sister. Sometimes I might act like your mama. I may sometimes even get a little D, act like your brother, But I mean, that's what it's about.
That should be on everybody's mind. That is the takeaway. If you want to be a community, you better act like a family. I love you.
I love you too, baby.
And I love Gay Palm Springs.
And I love Gay Palm Springs. And thank you for having me.
And we're going to be bringing that love to Desert Hot Springs this Saturday for the Pride Festival, the 3rd annual. And we'll see you on Saturday.
November the 16th.
Thanks for listening to the I Love Gay Palm Springs podcast with John Taylor and Shann Carr. Like us on Facebook at I Love Gay Palm Springs.
Thanks so much for listening to episode 4 of the I Love Gay Palm Springs podcast. We're going to be back on Thursday with comedian Shann Carr, Brad Fuhr, your Gay Desert Guide with the weekend preview, and an interview with actor and comedian Jason Stewart. Have a great week.